One anthropological fact that makes the United States and Western Europe different from China is that we developed earlier. So we had technology in our homes earlier, like the home laptop or the home computer. Many Chinese did not get their first thing like this until 10 to 15 years later because of money. And because of this, we see some differences in how the apps work in the country. For example, let's start with Douyin. Douyin is the Chinese version of TikTok, the one that came before TikTok. Notice in this graph that I made, because there is not very much stuff in English on this, that Douyin has a little bit of an older demographic to TikTok. That is probably because America and Western Europe already had loads of other apps to compete. And given that this is the first homegrown app of its kind, more people gravitate towards that in China. Now let's look at Weibo, which is China's version of X, aka Twitter. This is probably the app with the oldest demographics because it is an older app now. Twitter, X, Weibo, they've been around for a little longer. Then we have Bilibili. Bilibili is kind of like YouTube, but very focused on gaming and anime. This app is very focused on people in college. So, despite all this, all of these apps have a younger demographic in general to the American internet because older people in the United States, Canada, and Western Europe had to get on board the internet for their jobs. Whereas in a lot of older people in China, I am assuming, still did not require the internet to the same extent as people in developed countries, especially those who grew up during the tumultuous 1970s, the Cultural Revolution. During my time in China, sometimes it would be 2 a.m. in a club and there would be maybe somebody in their 50s or 60s cleaning up after 20-year-olds. So also some older people did not learn how to use pinyin. Sometimes I had to help my neighbors use pinyin on their phones. A white person helping Chinese people use a Chinese language on their phones. Who would have thought? Bye-bye.